Good morning from Nashville. We are on our way to the Lane Museum, which should be just across town. All right, how close are we? Kind of in the project area. The museum should be on the left. All right, here it is, folks. The Lane Motor Museum. I've just arrived. It's about 10:30. They just opened, so there aren't many people here, which I like because I've got the whole place to myself. And I'm so excited. So here's just a panoramic view of the inside of the museum and all the amazing cars that they have here. They have some F1 cars, classic F1 cars, a DeLorean. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So, and then one of these little mini bikes, all kinds of things. And I'm going to be here almost all day. So, only some of the highlights. The 2CV, they said this is the only car I'm allowed to touch unless I want some agents to come and beat me senseless. Okay, a really great start to the day with this car right here. It is a Weidner 70S Condor. That's the name of it. A German microcar from 1958. And if you look at the wheel covers on it, they actually look like Volkswagen wheel covers. Not quite. It has I think it's a 700cc engine in this little car. Really pretty. That's the first car I noticed when I walked in here. And it's already my personal favorite. If I could drive home with that, and I'd leave my truck behind, that's fine. I love the doors. And from this angle right here, it looks like a Porsche, you know, it looks like a 356 Porsche. 1958 Widener Condor. And it has Tennessee plates based on a design by Hans Trippel. And then the next car is the NSU Row 80. Looks like the NSU Club. Maybe they got it from the NSU Club, but this is kind of a very interesting luxury car made by NSU with the Wankel Rotary engine in it. It's the interior. I've never seen one of these up close. I've never seen any of these, actually. And the front of the NSU Row 80. And then they have a Goliath 1700 Sport. Goliath is, of course, Hans Goliath. He's the guy who made the Gogglebmobile microcars, and then he diversified into some sports cars like this, which is a lovely little sports car, right before they were taken over by BMW. Oh. There is the Goliath badge. Pininfarina design, I think is what that says. I can't read that. No, it's Carrozzeria Frua. It's Frua. Yeah, the Goliath had their work done by Frua. Goliath 1700 GT. See what they say about it. 1967. Hans Glas GmbH. 114 miles per hour that could go. It's not bad. How about the Row 80? They say it was good for 108. Made by NSU. 2 liters. I didn't know the engine was 2 liters in size. Okay, then we have a BMW microcar, the BMW 700, rear-engined. There it is, BMW 700. And this is going to be 1961, so thereabouts, I'm guessing. One little mirror. It's a tiny car. Here's the interior of that. It actually has a back seat. Look at that. Hardly any leg room. BMW. This is much later. BMW Bavaria automatic. That's a version I have not heard of. For those of you who like 1970s, maybe late 60s Beamers. Probably 70s actually, I'm gonna say. That one. Okay, now we're into DKW. DKW Monza. Their little sports car. This is gonna have a 2-stroke engine. Woohoo! Early 60s. There's the 4 rings, which stands for Auto Union, by the way. It's an Audi badge now, but the 4 rings stood for the original Auto Union, which was Audi, Hork, Wanderer, and DKW. So that's what this is. A special bodied little sports car and another special body DKW. This is I think it's called the 1000 SP. This one's badged as an Auto Union. Auto Union 1000 SP that obviously was influenced by the Ford Thunderbird. It's a really beautiful car. And then the DKW F94 Sonderklasse, which sold in America as the Auto Union 1000 sedan. Just a badge. It's badged as Auto Union. I don't like the color on this one. I think a more muted color in the 60s. This is like 1959, 1960. It says here it's 62. Look at that rear design. On the rear of the Auto Union 1000. The rear profile of this car isn't my favorite. It looks a little stretched out, but it has a nice trunk space. Don't touch. Oh, I'd love to take this out for a drive. Well, maybe the Thunderbird looking one. Let me get the interior here. Yeah, you can see how the seats have DKW stitching on them. Even though the car is badged as Auto Union. Auto Union is they just used that since it was more universally known. It's the wheels. There's that. Okay, something interesting and weird. Urba city car, which the steering wheel is a little comical on that. And then this, it's just a Fiat 850. See the books a lot. And the first Panhard of the day. It's a DB. Ooh. DB Panhard, which stands for Deutsch and Bonnet. I'm guessing a German-French racing team. And they tuned the Panhard engine. There's the Panhard engine right there, the 2-cylinder boxer motor with all the tubing and stuff on it. Those look really low right there, too low to the ground. That's a little uncomfortably low, but there's the DB badge. And this car looks like it's definitely done some racing. There's those really neat little Panhard wheels with, look how far outboard the bolts are that hold that together. That's really interesting. Oh wow, I love this paint job. This is different. A regular Panhard steering wheel, but then a basically racing interior of the car. There's the wheel. Let me get a real good view. There she is. DB Panhard. This one is, they say, HBR 5. Bone evil. I don't know what that means. Now we're gonna go to the absolute coolest thing in the entire world. A Lloyd. They have a Lloyd here. A Lloyd LS300. This is one of Carl Borgward's creations. And this looks to be a really early one because of the treatment of the front, but this is a leather covered plywood car. It has a plywood body. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time looking at that car, unfairly to all the others in here. The Lloyd. Ein Lloyd and Fahrt. Which there used to be a saying something like, oh, I forgot, I can't say it in German, but he who drives a Lloyd, he who does not fear death drives a Lloyd. That's what the saying was. Parked next to a Goliath. Yes. I hope I can get in between these cars without the staff coming and roughing me up. Yeah, that's the Goliath. 1933 Goliath Pioneer. Again, you can see it's fabric covered. It's like a leather. They did leather. Okay, so it's a leather covered body that's going to be made of plywood. So 1933 Germany, kind of an economy car, three-wheeler. Okay, the Goliath engine is right here. Wow. Oh, I wonder if that runs. I'm gonna try to get up close to the badge and again, hope nobody yells. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, so the engine is an ILO Type 200, which it says there on the badge is 198 cc, 5.5 horsepower. And this here is the tailpipe, so that's gonna make, you know, like a little farty sound, kind of. It's not gonna go fast, but that is just wonderful. And I'm surprised it's exposed, actually, but it's air cooled, so that does sort of make sense. Carl Borgward, a really great inventor of some really wonderful cars. Here's the inside. That. Lloyd. Yeah, it is an early one, 1951 LS300. It says LP, but LP is, this is the station wagon version, so it's going to be the LS300. There's the engine cover. See the detail? A cycle car, Ardex. I am not familiar with these. I probably didn't make very many of them. It looks like it's made of wood. One seat. And oh, look at the very crude gear shifter there. A couple of pedals. Oh, this is a Trojan that I'm standing next to. This car right here, Trojan RE, 1931. This is British, and I believe these are also two-stroke. And it looks to be, again, a wooden body with leatherette covering. So even the Brits were doing, was somehow you did some of the earliest economy cars. Economy cars were sort of a new thing, starting with a cycle car after World War I. And then some automakers started using cheaper materials like less metal, like doing wood, and then doing engine that was simpler, like a two-stroke, which this has. And cycle cars like this were also available after the war. This is just going to be to go get your shopping or something, you know. You're not going to go far. Probably like, you know, in Paris, down the street. Yeah. And then the ultimate cycle car guy was a bicycle inventor, Charles Mouchet. Mouchet right here has his 1930s little cycle car. And these were pedal, I think this is a pedal car. Let me see. Yes, it is. Mouchet's pedal car. He started out with pedal cars. See that? And it's got some really interesting gearing. He was kind of an inventor. Some interesting gearing so that you can get these up to like 20 miles per hour and look kind of stylish while you pedaled around with your girlfriend in Paris, if you were strong enough to pedal her around, and if she was okay with being seen in this. POP 50. They have a peel. It's so cute. There it is. Peel P50, 49cc. Doors on the other side. Look at this. This is like waist height for me. And then some weird microcar, which I've honestly never seen before. SLC microcar. Manocar. And a Zundap Janus. 1957. We have seen this in my encyclopedia books. And it's the first time I've ever seen one up close. Very few of these were made for only a couple of years. Zundap's a motorcycle company. And they made this microcar, which is the same idea as like an Azetta and a couple other 1950s micros at the time, having the front opening door, but they decided to take it another step by doing it front and rear. See this door here? That's the rear door. It looks really weird when it's open. And it has the seats facing opposite directions, which in the early 20th century they called dos a dos seating. And in the middle is the engine, which is an air-cooled engine, and I'm really curious how they got it cooled without any venting. How did they do that? I don't know. But I'd love to drive that around. Zundap Janus 250. Why called the Janus? Because Janus is a Roman god who had his head facing two ways. So, which, now you get it. It's kind of a joke. Hello. I just had a little chat with a gentleman about some of these cars. Dornier Delta, is that what this is? No, this is a Ligier, which is like a French microcar with these Golf wheels. Berkeley. And I've talked about these before. This is a two-stroke, I think it's two-cylinder, two-stroke, 325cc sports car with a plastic body, fiberglass, GRP, that's what they call it in Britain. And the French cars. Janus. Okay, there's a few people over there I'm going to avoid, so I'm going to walk over here without knocking any cars over. Haha. Okay, Peugeot 205. Okay, Dad, you know what this car is. This is Puget. Remember my Matchbox car from when I was a little kid that I absolutely was in love with was this car right here. Peugeot 205 GTI. A Renault 16. Very pretty. Absolutely love Renaults. Though they're not what they used to be. They've gotten so hung up on their racing heritage, and yeah, they have great history in racing. But oh, look at the interior of this car. I didn't realize these were so luxurious, but oh, that's right, that's French. The French love comfort. Comfort above all else. So that's the Renault 16 from the 60s. And Citroën. The Citroën DS. Look how low it is with the hydraulics all the way down. Blue interior. The softest seats in the world, but no headrest. That must have been very weird. Look at the soft padding. Single spoke steering wheel in true Citroën fashion. And the door goes straight down. Don't imagine it'd be very safe in a rear end collision. Some very 1960s kind of chrome here. Actually 50s design. This is a 1950s design, this car. Okay, there's the Citroën. And then we have a Simca. Is this a Simca Sport? Oh. Simca Aronde. It's the Aronde. The Aronde kind of sport coupe from the 50s. Yeah, Simca took over Ford of France and expanded and became one of the biggest companies in France before being taken over by Chrysler. And then we have Panhard. There's a Panhard Dyna Jr. Or the Dina, as they would call it. Look at the doors. Just trying to avoid people here. Okay, so there's the Panhard Dyna Jr. So it's going to be like 750cc, 2-cylinder, horizontally opposed. It's a 4-stroke. It's air-cooled. So it'd be kind of noisy. Really interesting kind of curvy body on this. It looks like a single piece. And it looks like it's missing its top. Removable top and very low windshield. And there's the front of the Berkeley. That's a really neat car. Then we have a Gogomobile Dart. Gogomobile sold its Glaz sold Gogomobile chassis all over the place, and the Aussies actually came up with this. The Dart with a plastic body placed over the Gogo chassis, which is a rear engine 2-stroke twin. Gogomobile without the E at the end. There's actually a little space back there, but not enough for a rear seat. Oh, there's a nice wear and patina on the interior. Another view of the Gogo Dart with the Gogomobile badge on the front. 1960 this one is, according to that, from Australia. And then another oddball, the Victoria Spatz microcar from Germany, which is an Egon Breuch design. And he came up with this very weird method of making fiberglass bodies Not the way you would think, like a single piece poured upside down, but he made them in two pieces, a top and a bottom, that he then glued together, which would leave a seam in the middle. And that's the reason why there's this horizontal line that goes all the way around with this sort of bumper on it, making it look like a bumper car. It's because the plastic body was, he made the top and the bottom, and then they would be kind of either fastened together or glued together. And this is the design of his that caught on probably the most, the spats. It's a really cute little abstract bird symbol on it. And then a British microcar next to it, the Scooter car, which is kind of weird. The Brits didn't like front opening doors, so they did a side door on this, but it's one door. Really tiny little wheels. And then the Heinkel bubble car. I have one. It's a model, but this is the real thing. Well, actually, this is it's a Trojan-built version, so it's the British license-built version of the Heinkel bubble car. And this one's from 1963, Trojan 200. There's the interior with the plaid. Really cool. Here's our microcars. And then we have this, which is it's an American Crosley Hotshot, maybe? I wonder if it is. Yes, it is. It's a Hotshot. It actually says Hotshot on there. Well, I guessed that, and I haven't seen one of these in ages. And we have a Vespa microcar from the 50s, which is in front of the Berkeley. And that has a rear engine also, 400cc. Here's your driving position. Amazing stuff in the Lane Motor Museum. Microcars, an Isetta bubble car, an Isetta bubble car. It's a weird color scheme. Isetta 300. Everybody loves an Isetta. I think I've seen these before up close, but I still can't get over how tiny they are. And then we have a Kleinschnittger. There's the Kleinschnittger. I'm so excited to see that. 1950, Germany. This is kind of a cycle car, really. If you look at the wheels, I mean, you can kind of see that. And the Germans love to do their disc wheels. And there's the engine. You can see it through the little chicken wire. I'm so excited. I'm more excited about that than the Isetta. There's a lot going on in this museum. This is a 1953 Kleinschnittger F125, which stands for 123cc ILO single cylinder two-stroke. And I'm just curious what they say. 2,000 Deutschmarks, $476. And top speed 44. That's awesome. It's actually pretty fast for 125cc. And then what's this? Kind of mechanical thing showing. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, well, they've got it blocked off so you can't touch it. And the steam engine. A couple of weird things here. It's this off-road thing. And then looks like a Soviet-style personnel carrier. Yeah, it is. It's a Russian personnel carrier. It has one seat though. Okay, so maybe this is an ambulance type vehicle. You can see some jump seats on there. So yeah, it's going to be like an ambulance type vehicle for in battle. You know, you can put the stretcher right there. I don't understand though why they've wasted so much space by pushing the windshield way up there. Maybe it's so that they can have room for their guns, long guns. Pretty cool, actually. Doesn't look very protective, though. LUAZ, this is called. It's a Luaz. Luaz 967M. USSR. I don't know how lucky you are. Somebody has a sense of humor. Travel in style, folks. Messerschmitt. Messerschmitt bubble car. Sorry about the glare. Aerodynamics, from art to science. And from science to art. Kind of hard to see.
You'll probably hear me call it that more than the vault. But this is really our bulk storage of where we keep the majority of the collection. And it's typically, it's not really that the cars aren't worth going up on the main floor, we just don't have room to put them all up there at once. There's only a couple cars that I know of that haven't been up there yet. And they're waiting to be stored over there. The exhaust gas from burning coal contains
coal-fired citron.
Power the engine. It takes about 25 minutes from the time when you close the first tank to being able to run the car. Now it only has 40% of the efficiency of a gasoline fuel, but they still were able to get it running.
Coal-fired.
Back in the mid-30s, they were doing alternative vehicles before it was
Look, it's an Aero Miner. There it is. Oh, wow. Czechoslovakia, 1951 Aero Miner. They have it. Weird back there.
They tried to work with it for the first time.
And so this car has the sliding.
I had a newer Mini. I had a 2000 year Mini. I want to grow up and have a proper vintage one. And then my wife had.
Hotchkiss Gregoire.
Yeah, I don't know the full story behind the hybrid. It's kind of a cool, that was just a private guy that did that. He cut the whole thing away.
Europe got the cool little roads. That's
Once all
In a Wartburg,
restrictions are lifted from COVID, and it can be
1980s.
The S660
Looks like a Russian car.
Everything's all set, everything's done, everything's been done correctly, it's all been, but we just, the guy to bring it over
There's Citron.
he's not able to travel yet.
1984 Wartburg 353.
And I think it was an orange Citron.
Citron off-road
You push the handle forward to open the door.
2CV.
It kind of looks like a cliffhanger.
I honestly
Pickup truck version of the Fiat 500.
find out.
Like, oh, this is why it was the guy's favorite because he got stuck in it.
Yeah.
What's this?
We're all a little bit odd.
Rogovski? Oh, it's Polish.
This is kind of a cool little truck that
Polish car, microcar, 1959 Rogovski.
it's actually really cool.
Cool.
About the practicality of it.
Can't believe that.
If you're a farmer, you want to run into town, okay, nothing to cross the farm road. It's kind of a decent all-around light-duty farm
DKW
vehicle.
Vimag. Oh, is that like Brazilian built DKW? Lloyd. And there's another DB Panhard.
Powerhouse or anything, but it's
Lloyd. Oh, look, there's a Zwickau behind there. You can't get back there. Okay, our day would not be complete without a look at this DeLorean, which is actually the first car I saw coming in here, and for some reason I skipped it. It's an 82 DeLorean. Do not get in, because of course everybody's going to want to do that. It's the ultimate gull-wing sports car. Stainless steel body. Very 1980s headlights on there. Very aerodynamic, but also very angular. It's almost like a William Townes type of styling on here. And again, it's like a very 80s graph style of the rear lights. With DeLorean actually imprinted in their bumper. That's very interesting. It's a neat way to do the badge. But that's what it actually looks like without all the Back to the Future stuff in it. It's the driving position. No rear seat. Turn it this way. Oh, wonderful. There's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer designs his own car. And this puts me in mind of Homer Simpson's car design. Reliant Robin? One Messerschmitt, and it is tiny. I can't believe how small these are. I would have to say this is one of the best car museums that I've ever seen. And you definitely should come here if you get the chance.